Can you have a traveling job like working on cruise ships if you have kids back at home? That right there is the question of the day. Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Jay Alexander, and welcome to another episode of Ship Life, where I try to inform, educate, and entertain you guys on the world that is ship life. So for today's subject, I want to talk to you guys about something that I've honestly received a ton of questions about. And honestly, I've even been given a very, very hard time about it. Today, I want to talk to you guys about just in general traveling jobs, like working on cruise ships. Is it a bad thing to do? Is it a normal thing to do these days? Like, what are the pros and cons to doing it? I'm going to talk about that and, of course, a little bit more in today's episode. So let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and get started, shall we?
Let's go!
Alright, so first and foremost, I just hope that everybody's having a beautiful and productive Friday. Hope you guys are following your dreams and getting a lot of things done. Now, anyway, guys, so getting onto the topic at hand. So last week, it was so random. I ended up receiving, I think it was like 3 comments about this subject in particular. So for those of you guys that don't know, I have one son, alright? I'm a dad. And I had my son when I was 17. I'm not going to get too much into the details. Things happen. However, one thing led to another, and the situation isn't as ideal as I'd like it to be. But, I travel for work, and honestly, I'm very, very grateful for it. Now, these 3 comments that I received, honestly, just kind of, I don't want to say struck a nerve because I'm past this, comments like this getting to me because, again, you have to, in order to have a YouTube channel, you have to have thick skin, You're always going to receive bad things, right? But it was 3 comments on a couple videos that I had made months ago. And it was when I was explaining to people that I was a dad. It was one comment, just somebody asking about how I can leave my son, and another 2 comments, people just bashing me, telling me that I'm a bad parent because I'm just dumping my son off to his mom or whatever the case is and going off and having my fun. Let me explain something to you guys. This is a new world that we live in, This is what I'm going to open up with, all right? And in this world that we live in, there are a lot of problems, okay? And things aren't exactly perfect. Now, when I talk about all of this, guys, I'm going to generally be talking to the people on the western side of the world, which would be the Americas, all right? Because it's typically the American society that believes that the world is exactly the way television's supposed to portray it as, all right? I'm gonna say this. After going to over 35 countries, I've realized a lot of things. And one thing I understand is that what we think we know, and again, I'm talking to the Americans here, and I'm not saying all, but I'm generalizing. What we fail to realize is that out of all the over 7 billion people that live on this planet, not everybody is doing the perfect family type deal, chasing the American dream, perfect family, wife, husband, 2 kids, white picket fence, and dog, and the dad is working for some corporate job and coming home every day while the wife is waiting with dinner. Not saying that's exactly what everybody wants, but everybody has this image instilled in their head that everybody's supposed to be there all the time around each other. Now, here's the thing, guys, with traveling for work. First of all, there are bad things about it, but there are so many benefits that you can get out of this, okay? And this is one thing that I've learned from traveling. Now, my situation is a little bit different. I was 17 when I had my son, and the way I see it, and you guys can agree or disagree with me, I was still a kid when I had my kid, and I'm whatever, things happen. I'm not faulting myself for it. It's just life lessons, all right? But at the end of the day, the only thing that I could think about was what lesson in life experience could a kid teach another kid? So after I got the opportunity to travel, which a lot of people dream of doing, why would I say no to that? Why would I just up and leave, or why wouldn't I just up and leave and go experience the world so I can share it later on with my own son? Now, I don't want to make this too personal, but of course, this is something that I know from personal experience, something that I've been dealing with for a long time. Because again, guys, I worked for the ship for about a year or so, doing 2 contracts, but I also worked for the Harlem Globetrotters for about 5 years. So in total, I've been traveling now almost every year for 6 months out of the year for about 8 years, all right? So I know what I'm talking about. Now, here's the thing, the problem that I faced just because I want to be relatable to you guys. All right, I'm a normal person, just like everybody else that's watching this video. I'm nobody special. I just happen to have the privilege and the luxury of being able to travel and getting paid for it. Now, in the eyes of a lot of people, it's considered a wrong thing to do, right? Again, people say, "Oh, how can you leave?" Because they're curious about how it goes down. Now, here's the thing that I think about. Had I done something more honorable, like joining the military, there is not a single person that would say anything. And I'm not saying the military is wrong. I honestly, I applaud and I have the highest respect for anybody that has joined the armed forces. Thank you for serving our country. Now, however, that doesn't mean that that's the only reason that somebody needs to travel for work, okay? And again, this is more so on the westernized side of the world, because for a lot of jobs, for example, let's say when I was working on the ship, there are a ton of people that are there that have multiple children. All right, and I realized this at first because the thing is, when I started working for the Harlem Globetrotters, that was my biggest worry. A lot of people would give me a lot of flack saying, "Oh, how could you leave your son? What about him? What about this? What about that?" And then when I got on tour, I was the only person I kid you not, the only person on my tour with one kid. These guys had kids everywhere, you know, but I would talk to them about it because I felt so bad. And they said, look, everybody's got to make their money. And unfortunately, there is no picture perfect way of living life, all right? And one thing I understand too, and you guys can be mad at me all you want, I truly believe that you can't make somebody else happy if you're not happy, all right? I see people that, let's say for example, in my situation, when I was 17 and my senior year in high school, people would tell me all the time, "Oh, your life is over. Every single thing you have to do now is for your child." In a way, I believe that, I guess. However, again, I didn't know anything at 17. So that kid, my son, would have ended up being just as ignorant as I would have been if I had never traveled, if I had never done anything. People, they have these kids, they have these children, and they stop living for themselves every now and then, okay? They get some job that they don't like and feel like it's something that they have to do, and then they're miserable, okay? And then later on, when their kid grows up, you're spiteful and throwing it in their face that you gave everything up for them, like they should be bowing down to you 24/7. That's not the situation. But the main thing that I realize about the whole traveling situation, because people think that you're missing out on so much. Here's the thing. People can get very, very complacent and used to others being around when you're with them 24/7. Just because you're with your children 24/7 does not mean that you are really, really getting what you need out of them and raising them correctly. I've seen parents that are working, 2 jobs at home and trying to be there as much as they can, and they still don't make an impact on that child's life. I've seen that happen. I've seen somebody have a one job making good money, but they'll come home, sleep, they'll come home and not really be involved in the child's life. Most of the parents that I know that travel for work, and I know a lot of them, okay? I'm not saying all, but I know most of them are very, very involved in the child's life, because here's the thing, when you're traveling, and I'm not just talking about children for the most part, family. The thing about traveling and going to see other parts of the world is that when you finally come home, it's like that relationship is I guess not restored, but it's brightened up, because you feel like you haven't seen that person in so long. You miss them all over again. You fall in love with those people all over again. And to me, there is no better feeling than that. When I go home or out of town for 6 months and I come back and I finally see my son, and we get that picture moment like movies where he's running up to me at the airport because he missed me so much, there's no better feeling than that, and I enjoy it. And I don't feel bad for leaving. It sucks, and I don't, enjoy it at the time, but when I come back home, it's the greatest feeling in the world. And I wish people would understand that not everybody has this perfect life where they got both parents and everything is working out okay, or even they got a single parent and somebody else isn't around. Things don't have to be to the point where somebody is there 24/7, as long as the relationship works. Now, again, there's so much to learn from travel, and a lot of people hold themselves back from this situation, from seeing the world. They use the excuse like my kids, my this, my that. Stop making excuses, guys. Here's what I understand about the world. And again, I'm not saying I'm some wise guru that knows every single little thing about the world. But again, I've been to over 35 countries. And when you go see how other people live in the world, people that don't have this, people that don't have a car, people that don't have really an opportunity to go do more, it changes you. You know, it makes you want to take advantage. If I had told people no, if I had told, let's say, the Harlem Globetrotters no, if I told the cruise line I was working for that no, I don't want to do your Broadway show, there are millions, and I kid you not, millions of people all over the world that would kill for an opportunity like that. So, you know, just for the people that are saying I'm wrong, you know, just think about it from that point of view, right? Why would I turn down an opportunity like that? Why would I turn down an opportunity to learn? Because formal education is not the only way to learn. All right, where did these books, all the information in these books come from? They come from informal education, other sources, and they were just compounded and put into textbooks. All right, and I just want to get that across because honestly, it does like irk my nerves just on a general stance that people still believe that there's only one traditional way. People will say, for example, get a regular job. What defines a regular job these days? You know, can somebody in the comment section let me know what that means? I'm a little confused. Just because I don't have a boss or because I don't have a job that I go to from 9 to 5 does not mean I don't have a normal job. But who's to say what's normal anyway? There's a 12-year-old kid that's making I think $70 million a year opening toys and telling the world what he thinks about them right here on YouTube. All right, I know plenty of other people that travel. I'm going to Europe next week. I have a friend that I'm gonna go see. He makes high six figures traveling, just traveling. He's a YouTube vlogger. All right. Anyway, guys, but I'm gonna wrap this video up. I know this is more of a rant, and I apologize for that. But guys, let's have a conversation about this. I want people to let me know their opinions in the comment section below. If you guys think it's right or wrong whether people travel or not. Again, as I've explained, there's pros and cons. Yeah, the cons, you miss your family, you're not there for some things, but the pros are that you get a lot of benefits out of it. My kid, for example, because of what I've done, he gets every theme park that he wants for free. I get Globetrotter games for free, Harlem Globetrotter games for life, because I have friends in that area that aren't leaving, for sure. I get that. I get discounts on cruises. What more do kids want? You guys got to think about that stuff. Now, again, I'm going to end this, but just really think about that, guys. And again, I would love to have a conversation in the comment section. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe. Also, I'm going to leave a link below and put it up here as well. Please check out my new YouTube channel. It's just called J Alexander. And I'll be talking about stuff like this. Basically, I'll be talking about my business that I have, life talks, and travel. So I'm going to be talking about all that. Follow that as well. Sorry, I had to plug that in. Anyway, guys, like I said, I hope everybody's having a good day. Let's have a conversation. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and I will see you guys on Sunday for my Ship Life Story episode. Until then, you guys take it easy.